So, did you hear the rumor about butter? Well, I'm not going to spread it. Okay.
What's up, guys? It's Mardigrasman23, and it is time for the AFoOL podcast. I'm coming to you live from location, and I'm still finding ways to spend Joey's money. This is BrickTrains channel right there. That's Joey. And back from a long waited for vacation, he was down there drinking blue milk. That's Jabo.
I got sick from the blue milk, apparently.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were all kind of somewhere. Now Earl's somewhere.
Yeah.
But he's a team player. He's like still doing the show.
Yeah.
Oh well. So yeah, Earl, you just caused me to. Well, actually, Jabo.
It's actually Jabo's fault.
Wait.
So in a upcoming video, which will air before this airs,
most likely, yes.
Yeah.
Time travel.
Time travel's hard.
Jabo purchased the set, and so Joey and I were talking about it. I went and found him one on eBay, and he went ahead and bought it.
So yeah, the El Dorado Fortress, which we know is getting ready to have a new updated, and I seen you've done a members video where you just purchased one, which I'm surprised you didn't have one.
Well, and that's what I think I mentioned it in the video.
Yeah.
I was like, I have this set. I said that like 9 years ago, and I've been through I think every box and over the years I haven't found it. It was such a big base plate in that set. It's kind of hard to miss.
Right.
But you would have definitely had it before, and then sold it when you sold your Pirate collection.
So I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Hiram, Georgia, just last week at work, and I was like, that's where the Kmart used to be.
Is that me or is that Jabo?
That's you.
That's me? Okay. Yeah, I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi.
So. Okay. No, I was on this road, and it used to be where the Kmart was, and I said that's where I bought the El Dorado Fortress on clearance, like 30-something years ago.
Man.
And then I sold it on eBay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you've talked about you've done this long enough that you've actually bought it when it was new, sold it, and now it's
kind of
cool again.
The nostalgia. I mean, it's what year did it come out? El Dorado Fortress.
Oh, you're gonna ask me a tough question like that. Hang on, I got it pulled up somewhere right here. It came out in 1989.
So 34 years ago.
Yeah.
So and when I bought it, it probably had already been on shelves for a couple of years because I know I got it on clearance.
Yeah. Okay.
And they usually kept things on shelves a little longer back then.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they turn over. Yeah, it's like you'll get a set that whatever they call it. Lego has a term for that, a one hit or big bang or something, whatever. And yeah, it's like 1 year and then it's in out the door.
Are you talking about now?
Now, yes.
Because now it's got there's not what would you say, about 25% of the sets are like that, and the other ones are on the shelves for it seems like eternity. 3 years. Yeah. Won't go away.
Yeah, you have your Tower Bridges and VW camper vans that stay on the shelves for like 10 years, and then other things 6 months to a year.
That's true. So,
So who's buying the Tower Bridge? I mean, not Tower. I said Tower Bridge. I said Tower Bridge, and now I said, who's buying the El Dorado Fortress?
The new one?
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm asking that to our viewers.
No,
yeah,
or the old one and the new one.
So I told Joey, Joey just went out and bought the El Dorado Fortress. So now if he decides to buy the new one, you can't buy that without buying the castle.
Oh.
I mean,
well, here's the thing with the castle. There's nothing that really compares to it.
That's true.
Well, you could get the old. What was it? You could get a couple of the old King's Castle, the gray ones, the King's Castle, and the.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Like the new El Dorado Fortress has that feel, even though it's bigger. It just has that feel of the old. That castle is just like a big castle to me.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you could probably slip the new one right in with amongst the old sets and have a hard time not, really seeing a big difference in it. I think it looks like it's a big role. I was telling Earl, this is this is kind of a slippery slope for me because pirates is a theme that I could actually kind of get into.
Yeah.
It's
and it is pricey.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
The ships, some reason ships seem to.
They're worse than trains.
Yeah.
It's
well, you know, it's like the resurgence in trains here in the last few years has caused those to go up, because I've been on this thing of adding extra cars to my trains, especially the ones that were high-speed trains that you only had like one car,
right,
and two engines. I've been trying to right the wrongs from all those years ago, and I was looking at the prices of some of the sets. I'm like, because sometimes I'll just buy the set and then part out the rest of the parts for the engines and keep the parts for the cars. But man, they're getting expensive, but not like pirate ship expensive, but still. I'm glad I'm not new into collecting trains right now.
Well, speaking of collecting trains, it seems like there's been you just said it, a big resurgence in collecting trains. I mean, there's our group of people that we know that my own trains is nothing new to us, but it seems like there's been a lot of new people. Bricks and for oh my gosh,
Riker 1 million, Lego My Jameso, and a lot of people that are in the Discord on Battery Powered Bricks channel.
Oh yeah, Battery Powered Bricks if you don't know Battery Powered Bricks, he was on the podcast last time. His Discord is blowing up. It is crazy. So check his Discord out. I think it's open to the public too, isn't it?
Pretty
sure it is.
I think so.
It has to be. Yeah. So
until he can't manage it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, the little bit of managing he does for ours it ain't tasking him any time. So. I don't know that, and I'm the worst at not putting anything in there. I should put more in there.
So I got a question.
Okay.
So we see this in our circle. Because obviously there's YouTubers, and then there's the ones people known for years, but there's like all these different circles of people.
Right.
Like we got the ones that we kind of know and we interact more commonly than others that we know.
Right.
Like Brian, we're in communication with him more, and so you tend to watch those people's videos more than you do others because there's so much content out there. But and in our little world, then we see all these people buying My Own Train. And does that make it seem like there's more of a demand for it, or is this? Does it go beyond our circle?
Is it possible there's an influencer right here in front of us?
Where?
A trendsetter?
Trendsetter, yeah.
I'm always 20 years behind on the trend.
Yeah, Lego would have loved for you to be the trendsetter back when it was new, right? To get it going.
Yeah, I even heard. So I was watching Jason BrickTsar 5 with Alex, and that's my favorite video they do, where they do the rants and such. And they mentioned about the trains and the things they would like to see in the My Own Train. I'd like to see that style again. I know I've said it many times, but
I don't. Yeah, I would love to do it. And they were talking about the track, and I made a comment, that because they were ranting against Flex Track, and none of us appreciate Flex Track, but they did mention, I think it was Alex, one of them said something about how the Flex Track is keeping them from making others, wider radius and stuff, because the Flex Track is kind of just a.
They don't even make. Do they still make the Flex Track?
I don't know. Is it not still in the track packs?
I don't think so.
It's not in the current track pack. It may not be.
Flex
but
Track.
They aren't Flex. But Lego's never going to. So we know FX Bricks is just now releasing the R40 switches, the 9-volt. They're going to be very niche, right? I've bought a set of very expensive, but they're going to fit a need that I need on my layout, and they're going to sell some. But Lego would never make money selling those switches. Now maybe that crossover would do a little better than they did but they designed it so badly that the trains crash. But
well, you know what they talked about is how the if you're a city builder, you want movement in your city, but the trains take up a lot of room.
Yeah.
And it's not the straightaways that take up a lot of room. It's the switch tracks and the curves.
yes,
Because
yes.
I mean, when you do a curve, that takes out what, the corner 3 base plates, corner 4 base plates?
Yeah, 3 easy.
Well, the closest scale that Lego is to is, well, it's kind of in between O scale and G scale. To me, it's closer to G scale, just for the size of the. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Is it closer to G scale or O scale?
Well, so okay, I think the thing is if you're looking at 8 wide, it is closer to G scale.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
And 6 wide, it's maybe closer to O.
Oh yeah, because I've got a couple O scale cards, and I'm talking about just Lionel toy trains. Just the old, not necessarily O27, but the old gauge post-war type stuff. Plastic box cars, the stuff you can get at Menards nowadays. Menards sells a lot of that Lionel, but it's not model railroading. It's toy trains, right? And I think the 6 wide is closer to that scale, and I also like the fact that it fits in with, if you buy a new Lego train, if a new Lego train comes out, for the most part, it's going to still fit in that style and that look.
Have you ever thought Lego had no concern about O scale or G
No,
scale?
they definitely did.
All they did was, if you look at a minifig, and it's wide enough, just like the old vintage cars from the 80s, it's wide enough to fit a minifig. Not side by side minifigs. Just, like a car, if a 2-seater, you had front and back, not side by side. So it's kind of like, I think it was built around that logic.
So O scale and large scale, G scale existed when Lego Train was created, but Lego had already come up with their geometry for their studs. And I think to get the stud width, it would have been, they would have create a different element just to attach the track to the plates or whatever, because it wouldn't have been the right width.
Right.
They could have done it. They could have done it.
I think you're right. It goes back to the Blue Rail track, right?
Yeah.
And the way they built the Blue Rail track, or to fit the Lego system, right?
And to stick with their gauge, their L gauge for 57 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but it's like it's like that decision back then, if they just had figured out a way then to make it either G scale or O scale, because almost all other toy companies that make a train that works, like Playmobil and Mega Bloks, it'll run on G scale track. And then they wouldn't even have to worry about the track.
Right. That's true too.
Another company could have made the track.
But I don't. If you to put it on O gauge track, it's like it's at least a half stud off, and the width of the rails and stuff. It would have been everything would have been wrong for Lego.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sure that's why they didn't, and I understand it, and I just wish it could have been compatible with another, and I think that would have changed things in the long term.
It would have. I definitely agree that if it was if it matched anything that was standardized at the time, it would have been.
So did you finish your 9-volt loop around your city?
Me, yes.
You've done all the work. I know you bought the track, but you've done all the work.
Yeah, I've got. I probably ought to do. I think I've mentioned it. I haven't. I haven't put the transformers just kind of still sitting, but Brian made me some new some new leads, track lock-ons, whatever we want to call them. But that's kind of why I'm getting the new switches. I picked up some of these little short.
Are they half or?
Yes, it's half. 2 of these make a whole. But the new R40 switches that they're doing, you need 2 of these to catch it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make a crossover, so it'll go from the inner loop to the outer loop, and it does it within that 32 base plate spacing that like the L gauge guys they do and stuff, and it's kind of what I run already. So, but it kind of brings me back to that niche track is, you know, something that Lego's not ever going to do. So I don't have a problem buying the FX track.
Yeah, it's like Lego could theoretically brand themselves with FX and let FX make the track.
Right.
I don't know if they'd raise the price or something, but it'd get more people aware of it.
Right. Right. But how? So when I was at Brick World, right, and the guy that runs FX, owns it, whatever, all them guys knew him, and he was sitting in the corner. I didn't know who he was, but at one point they started kidding him a little bit about, oh yeah, here's and so and so's over here, and so it's kind of cool. I don't think the true Lego model railroaders, the guys that are running 8 wide, the Kales in the world, all these, they know him, right? They know that stuff exists, and they're using it on their track. Although
the average person looks at $150 for 2 switches and it's like, oh, never mind.
It ain't happening. Yeah. You know, the average but how what is it? Lionel's Fast Track is comparable in price.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a manual pack that has 2 switches to make it like a siding for about $120. You'll have like 2 or 3 pieces of straight track, a couple of curves, and a couple of switches, and it'll be like $120.
But you know, that's for a true hobby collector, though. That's not for a novice just with a train loop.
No.
You know, it's the same thing with the FX tracks. I mean, I would never buy it, but you know, who's to say 15 years from now I don't have a big layout like you got, and it's like, oh, you know, it's what I need.
Right.
Yeah, and even if it's not 9-volt, just like having, I think the one thing I would want them to do is just have the radius up from was it R40s? What is Lego? Is it R40?
Lego is R40.
So R56 would be, because everything goes in increments of 16 studs, right?
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so the 56 would be the next bigger curve, and then you could do a double track. That's what I like to see. And Alex Noons and Jason on their video, they're talking about the track and how they did try the flex track. I think my comment on there was that the flex track in the crossing is what killed Lego doing anything else, because well, we tried something, y'all didn't like it, so we're not going to do anything else.
Right. But they
didn't try what we wanted.
Yeah. They tried something that was going to be more for the mass market. Here's the flex track. You do, if you want to do wide radius, you can do wide radius. If you want to do the switching is, you know, that's.
But everybody hates.
Have you ever seen a practical use for flex track at the shows, at the convention?
So, okay, at the convention again, like, you know, you go to like a Brick World, there are 2 kinds of people that are displaying. Ken Marlowe Bricks, I don't know if everybody knows him, but he has his style is like my style. It's modulars that, you know, maybe he's upgraded or decorated a little bit, but he's running R40 track and he's running basic Lego sets. His stuff looks really great, right? And I don't know, I think he used a couple flex track pieces maybe just to kind of make that oddball turn or something. And you see that people who are kind of more Lego purist, or they're more Lego models in their display, you will see them kind of use that. The L gauge people, they banned flex track. That is literally it is in, I'm pretty sure they mentioned
instructions.
It's in their thing, their list of don't use flex track. But a lot of the stuff that they're 8 wide, you know, some of their trains won't even run unless it's like on R120.
Yeah.
You know, so
minimum radius,
right.
That's pretty big too. 120.
Oh yeah, 120 is huge. So that's what I run on my outside loop. And you talk about wasting space.
Yeah.
I mean, it kills corners and
yeah. And that's why I think that's what the point I was going to make earlier is that people that model G scale, they do it outside.
Yep.
Because it's so big. And in Lionel or O scale stuff, they're very limited. Like there's a couple of YouTubers, the guy that smiles and holds his trains like this. I think your grandson,
BBR,
RPD,
RBP, yeah, that's it, yeah,
whatever. He's got a pretty good sized layout. And Eric's trains, who actually is here in the same state as me, he's got a a big layout, but it's still like it's not as detailed as like some of the HO scale, the smaller scales where you have more options
right
for the space.
Right. Yeah, well, and people like not everybody has the talent to build a realistic working train layout. Whatever, the guys, the L gauge guys, they're building, and that is part of their. I think I just picked up on it this time at Brick World, is in their bylaws. Maybe it's been there all the time. Well, they do have a thing, yeah, whatever it is, it's weird, but it says realistic Lego working train. So
yeah,
they're. I'm not going to go in there and throw my Santa Fe Super Chiefs in there or anything. They're like, but now I've seen some 8-wide Santa Fe Super Chiefs that they, it's like they got some stuff that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They also got some of the best Thomas looking trains too. Thomas the Tank Engine at 8-wide. They've got some really good stuff. So, hey, by the way, it's 20 minutes in, so the only people watching now are true AFoOL friends. So. I can tell you by analytics.
We can talk about everybody else now.
Yeah, all the. Oh my goodness. So did either one of you? Oh, I know you didn't, so I don't have to ask. The at Brick World, they had Bricklink was there as probably the only Lego representatives, but they did a little thing. They did a little seminar or show and tell, or talking about themselves, right? And in it, they're talking about this new mock system. So like when their designers sets, when they run out, or when the ones that don't make the cut and they turn into sets, they're going to put them into this like mock program, and you as a buyer, as a Bricklink buyer, can go in, buy the set. The system will go in and say, okay, here's where all the parts are, here's all the stores, and put them in your cart or whatever, and then you can go buy them. But one of the problems, and that's all kind of cool, right? It's kind of like a rebrickable kind of thing. It's like, here's all the parts you need, and here's the set. And I didn't understand, I never got a real clear answer as to how the instructions were going to get to you. I'm assuming they're going to be digital.
No, they have to be digital.
Yeah, they're not going to print them. But here's the thing: as they were working this, they talked about how they realized that. Well, two things I realized. They realized that they did not have all the pieces available from the Bricklink sellers.
Yeah.
To do more than like maybe 100 of these sets, because some of these sets are pretty large, lots of pieces of stuff. So they decided. Oh, and the other thing was that they learned that Bricklink sellers don't want to do 4,000 part pulls. Then they said they didn't understand that. Why would a Bricklink? So that's what you do. Why would you not want to do a 4,000 part sell?
You're asking the wrong people.
Well, yeah, I kind of wondered. It's like, yeah,
I told you there's the sellers that deal with so much volume. They complain about big orders. Right. I'm like, would you rather have 40 100 lot orders or one 4,000 lot order?
Right.
They're the same.
I think some of the problem with that would be when let's say you bought the instructions and the wanted list for this mock, right?
Right.
And then you went to fill it in a Bricklink, and you realized, man, this thing's going to cost me, this 4,000 piece mock is going to cost me about $600 or $700.
No doubt.
I mean, that's
they could make, if they know what parts are going into all these mocks, they could just make those available for Bricklink sellers to buy at bulk.
It's worse than that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Tell me.
They're adding PAB to Bricklink. Pick a brick is going to be an option from these mocks. Now they said just for these mocks, but
Lego will be fulfilling those orders.
Lego will be fulfilling the parts that are not available through Bricklink from other sellers like us. So Lego will fulfill them if they're in stock. If they're standard, they're not going to make special. They're not going back looking for. It's just out of the normal whatever pick a brick stock they have. If it's available, and they were not clear because they haven't done it yet. They're not clear if Pick a Brick was going to get preference over the Lego sellers or not.
It probably
okay. So
it'll probably get preference because it'll be like, okay, this set's 4,000 pieces. Lego has 2,500, so and then you got to go source the other 1,500 yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So
the wheels turn.
Currently, and I hope this never changes. If it changes, everybody will be going to BrickOwl, but Bricklink doesn't have the best match search.
Okay, yes.
So like
no,
eBay,
you're right.
eBay, you can have something listed at a good price on eBay and nobody sees it. But
right.
On Bricklink, if you have something at a good price and you have the right quantity of it, people will see it.
Right.
And so you can't. It's like if somebody's searching for something and you have it, they can find it.
Right.
Whereas other platforms that sell stuff, somebody could have it for twice the price and they sell it because that's what's shown to the buyer, not your item that was cheaper.
Right.
And so that's a good thing about Bricklink. I forgot what my point was.
The wanted list.
So if people have something on their wanted list, well, the problem with the wanted list is where it does get kind of tricky because I did it the other day in trying to get some of these parts for some of the sets I'm trying to complete.
Yeah.
I ran it like 3 times. I'm like, no, why is it? No. I'll let me do it manually.
Right.
Because it was picking people that had crazy high prices and stuff.
And I think there's some settings, and I don't know for sure, but I think you could change some of that to who has the most, who has the lowest price, who the most, the least amount of stores. But here's the thing. I think here's the thing that concerns me, and several people in the room that were kind of talking about it, they addressed it too. But this is just Lego learning how to be a Bricklink store.
Very possible.
Right? Because if they're going to start fulfilling these at Bricklink through their mock store thing, they're going to have to get good at this, right? Well, I don't guess they have to get good. It's Lego. They can do how they want. But right now, you could get stuff in a couple weeks from them or months.
This to me sounds like somebody had a good idea. It's like, oh, let's still release. We're not selling these sets, but why don't we release the sets in the parts list? And then it's like, okay, if we do that, then we're going to create a whole new problem. So they haven't figured out the whole new problem yet.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Do you know why my own train failed?
Too much choice, too expensive. It was hard for them to fulfill.
Okay, so the fulfillment of that required human intervention.
Yes.
My own train box, I don't have it over the one set that I bought when it was currently in stores back then. It's got a little check mark. Somebody went in there and they checked off the different parts they put in the box.
Right.
And that's labor intensive. It costs more money to do. And so why are Lego sets? I mean, Lego set, there's some are expensive, but how are those things packaged?
They're computers, robots.
Right. The machines are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is Brickmania stuff so expensive?
Hand packed.
It's hand. They source it from Bricklink. So I have since the very first video I did about Bricklink, I had to go back. I went back and looked at it. I didn't even know it at the time. It was a Brickmania order.
Really?
Yes. So it's like they've been buying from Bricklink sellers this whole time, but they have a system. But regardless of what their system is, it doesn't bring the price down because they got to buy it from us, and we're selling stuff at a higher price than it usually was when the parts were especially if they're using discontinued parts. But
right.
So Legos, they're going to try to do the same thing, no matter whatever they come up with. It's never going to be cheaper than if they just package the sets themselves. But I think it's a great idea. But They should just let us say, here's the instructions. You can buy the instructions.
Uh-huh.
Go get the parts yourself.
Well, that's what Rebrickable does.
Yeah.
You know, Rebrickable, you buy the instructions, the PDF, and they give you the parts list, and all you got to do is copy and paste it to your Bricklink wanted list.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's the instructions, here's the parts. It's up to you to go do the parts, to go do the work if you really want to.
Yeah.
If you really want it, you know. Like
yeah, it's like if I knew people wanted, like if there was a particular design that a lot of people wanted, I would love it if I had all those parts. But it's not really feasible for me to just go out. Okay, let's see what's selling on this, and I'm going to go buy sets that have those parts, and I'm going to part them out. And
they mentioned that though. They mentioned that. They said, you guys, and they're, again, they're talking to us, right?
Yeah,
in this, you guys will know which one of these are going to be popular. And we know you guys are going to go out there and just buy these parts up and part them into your stores.
No, we're going to buy the parts that are a good deal.
Yeah.
Right.
That we're not going to go buy
or we're going to buy the ones that we know we could turn the minifigs over quicker.
When people are parting out sets, they're looking for ones that the part out value is like 3 times or more.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not going to go for one that's 1 for 1, just because you could have a set that costs $20 and it has most of the parts people need. But if the part out value of that set is $22, you're not going to have people buying hundreds of them to part them out.
Right. Especially when they're competing against pick a brick ball.
Yeah.
So I had something in the notes last week, and we kind of skipped over it because you weren't here, Javo.
Okay.
So I saw this video. It's probably a few months old when I saw it. They looked at Chris's store, Bricks on the Dollar. They looked at his store, and
was it somebody else's video?
Right, it was somebody else's video. He did a store tour for
him,
and then when he moved to his new location, they went back and they revisited and they did a store tour of his new facility. So at the end of the video, he talks about that he's turning 100,000 parts a month, which is about the size of my store and Joey's store.
Yeah.
So just think about that. He turns our store every month. So
empty all these drawers and fill them back up again.
Yeah, but he's selling a lot of bulk.
That's correct. He's got a lot of bulk. He's got a lot of used, but still, he's still turning it every month, which means he's replenishing it every month. It's even more work when you're considering used. So So where I'm going with this is your store, the amount of parts you have. If you have an idea of roughly how many you turn, and at what point does your store get to where your orders become consistent? Because I know there's a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to open a Bricklink store, and you go to stores all the time and they have like 15,000 parts or 2,000 parts, and it's like, they're not hardly ever getting orders.
But I've bought from people that have small stores.
Yeah, I've bought
because they have what I want.
Right.
So that's the key. The key is you got to have stuff that people want.
Right.
Like if you have a few rare vintage items, if you have tipper truck parts, I'm gonna be looking at your store. But if you have if you go to the Lego store and you get a pick-a-brick cup of everything that's on the pick-a-brick wall, and you put that in your Bricklink store, you're not going to get sales. Now, if you have those parts in your store, people will buy them if they're buying other stuff, but they're not going to come to your store for those common items. They just go to their Lego store and get them.
So do you know about how many parts you had when it started getting consistent orders, like the 4 or 5 orders?
It was around the 100,000 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I started getting more orders when I switched from sets to parts. Like when I started parting things out more.
We must be getting close, Joey.
Yeah, it must be. We're getting close.
Maybe it's 200,000 nowadays.
And it helps. The one thing though is like it always helps to have minifigures.
Yeah.
Well, but like yesterday, I had an order, and it was a $90 order, and it was 4 parts and all the rest minifigures.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, that doesn't help your part sell. It's great that I sold that order.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to try to see how many parts lots I sold last year. Give me a minute. If I go to download.
See, this is what inquiring minds want to know.
I'll tell you how many parts I sold in 2020. Well, when I say most everything's a part. There will be like minifigures, instruction manuals,
right.
A few poly bags or something I might have sold. So it goes to December 31st, 2022. All right, 2022. Wait, let's see which one. I got to look at these columns. Order, total items. Okay, total items. Last year, and so this compare my store to Bricks on the Dollar. He sells at that time, which is probably more now. He was selling 100,000. I sold 90,000 items, 90,218
in a year.
In a year,
and he sells 100,000 a month.
Let me see how many I've sold in a lifetime.
It's amazing 100,000 parts in a month.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, if you watch his store tour, he's got this sort. He's got people who sort, and he's got these sorting down to a science. He really does.
So I think his store helps him. His storefront.
Absolutely. His employees do it, but he's got it set up for them to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I think that's a job you would love to do. About 2 weeks in, you'd be like, ew, I don't know if I can continue to do this.
No. Yeah.
I have sold 873,000 different items in my lifetime.
Wow.
That's still a lot.
That's not as much as he does in a year.
Right.
But it's pretty, I mean, that's more than what I have in my store. I think it's a good place to be. I have sold more than I have. So
there you go. Yeah, that's yeah. But again, you're like the rest of us. You have a job. Your Bricklink store, a nice source of income, but is not your main source of income.
Yeah, and even like you have time periods where you don't get a lot of orders. I mean, until today, I got 4 orders today, but it'd been kind of a slow week.
Yeah.
So the one thing, I think Chris said this years ago, the best way to have orders, or one of the best ways to have orders, is to keep adding parts.
Yeah. Well, yes, but I don't know that it's so much. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that it's so much that you added parts. But when you add parts, you also hit that button that says "Let everybody know."
Yeah.
And I think that
I send that out every time.
Yeah. I sent it out the other day for one part. I don't know what the part was that somebody wanted. Somebody got an email saying, "I got that one part you need." One person.
So have you ever? So I got the other day. I found the new Doctor Strange poly bag in Walmart for $1.
$1?
Yeah, so I bought like 30. I bought everyone they had.
Oh yeah, $1. Anytime a poly bag is $1,
I think they had 34, 35 of them. So I put 5 in my store. So now I'm going to part the other ones out. But would you part them out and just have the fig sitting in your store for a while, or would you part out the minifig, and whereas these parts of the minifig might sell, but these parts of the minifigs might, the old saying is everything sells eventually. You would think, but.
For most superheroes, I would keep them together. Keep them together.
That's what I did with the.
And wait 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I did the same thing with the Captain Marvel one, and I've got a whole bunch of Nick Furies and Captain Marvels in my store. And that's why I was starting to think about parting these Doctor Stranges out.
It's funny how I've parted things out, kept the minifigures whole. And it's like they may sit in my store a long time, but then all of a sudden when they start selling, it'd be like every other order.
Yeah.
I give you an example, Star Wars character. It's a trap guy. What's his name?
Oh.
Mon Calamari ship guy. Admiral Akbar.
Yeah,
I had like 50 of those. All right.
Oh my.
I remember you talking about that.
And then they started sell. I mean, and then it's like every other order was Admiral, and now I don't have any more Admiral Akbars, and I need one for my collection.
He's actually, I think he's a little pricey now too.
Yes, he's gotten pricey. That's why the Star Wars things. But yeah, you eventually, I wouldn't put it very. I mean, I would personally put it at a higher price and just wait
and just let him sit.
Yeah, especially for the deal that you got out of it. So,
because I bought those. I still have the instructions. They're in a box over here on the other side of my train table. The 198 of the Final Duel 2 that had a Stormtrooper, Luke Skywalker with the black hand, and a Imperial soldier. Bought those for 88 cents at KB Toys. I went to 3 different KB Toys and bought all of them that I could get. And those were 88 cents. And I was selling those Stormtroopers for like $2, man. I thought, I'm raking in the money. But I should have just waited.
But back then, I mean, even when they were selling at $2, you were doing really well.
I was doubling my money,
and back
more
then,
than on just one figure.
And back then, you probably thought people were crazy.
I did.
$2 for
who pays more than $1 for a minifigure? You people are crazy.
And the thing is though, could you at that point could you have set on that?
I probably needed the income. Yeah, to buy.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like that. As long as you're doubling your money, you make more. But if you go back and it's like my own train stuff, man. I got that stuff dirt cheap, and I sold it for probably less than what the retail price was. But I was more than doubling my money at that time.
So you guys need to check your Walmarts, just so you know the app scanner works now.
Okay, so if it rings up,
the app scanner works. You can just check a price, and the right now, it's probably about 30% of the aisle is on clearance.
Oh,
really?
Some of the clearance prices are okay.
Yeah.
But if you find the right store, like I found one of the 3 that I go to, I found some really good price. I found a $30 Friends Diner for $9, and I don't know. I did good at that one, and they have the UCS land speeder for $168.
Wow,
that's a 200. They raised the price to like $240 on that.
Yeah,
so that's a good deal.
So check your Walmarts, and you might see the same prices that's not cheap enough for you to buy, but you might stumble across the one like I did, or Joey, hopefully yours.
Well, let me ask you about that. Okay, which Walmarts do you think do better, or in your opinion do better? Is it the rural Walmarts or the urban Walmarts?
I think it's the urban one.
It's urban. The closer I get to Atlanta, the better deals I find.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's and I don't. So back in the day, especially when I worked at night, I would probably go into 5 Walmarts every day.
Right.
Looking for stuff, and of course we didn't have the app back then, but it's that La Vista Road Walmart. Giving away my secret, man. That one. Yeah, I may not feel safe when I go in there, but
that's how I found this poly bag. So if you go in just about any Walmart, they're going to be $3 or $3.50. Well, my 2 that I go into all the time in my town, they say item not found or whatever. It's like you can't verify the price. So I went to the register. I was going to buy one for $3. They scanned $1. I was like, huh. I said, can you take this off? I forgot something.
We go back and get the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the one time I went in there and it was like the really high clearance. And then when I was ringing it up, and I went to where a person was, and they were like, oh, yeah, these are additional 50% off. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, same thing. Go back. I just loaded it up, man.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping, because this I'm thinking that they're going to be at these clearance prices until they take them off the aisle, whenever they actually do the reset. Because I think they've changed their deal where they're trying to get what they can before the reset to try to get it off the aisle before they have to clear the aisle.
So what is the next reset? What's the next?
They usually reset it twice a year. They reset it after Christmas, which is usually towards the end of January, and then they reset it again in July.
Yeah,
to
so
get
this,
ready for
yeah,
this,
so this will
to
be
get ready for Christmas.
by the time you see this episode, some of those July clearance deals will probably be gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, July is always a good time of year to be looking.
So yeah, and most retailers do that with toys. I mean, you can walk. It's not just Lego. You walk down the toy aisles and you'll see a lot of clearance prices because it's time to start getting ready for Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
But
so we didn't do a vault set.
I got one.
I've actually got one. I've got one for next time.
Okay. Well, I thought you might have, based on your video today, I thought you might have a vault set. So do we want to talk about these doors?
Yeah, so I got a question because I'm Lego tech support.
Yes.
Lego
well, you're way better than Lego tech support. So
yeah, somebody was asking me about some doors, and then they sent me a link to Bricklink, which showed these doors that were the vintage doors that were 4 studs high and had a glass.
Right.
And I was like, huh. And it showed no sets available, but people have them listed for sale. And I'm like, well, how's this a non-production part? Like, it was never in a set. And then I got to looking, and then I was like, surely there's a set there. And I found the set, the only set. These were 2 sets. And these are actually 2 different sets with 2 different builds. You can tell if you look at the front.
Right.
They're different. But you look at them inside, they almost look the same. These are ambulances. One's 338 and one's 373. Don't ask me which one. The one with the headlight, that one's got the grill, and this one has the windows for head. This one has the windows. But anyway, so the doors, it has 2 different types of doors, or left and right. But you see the plus sign?
Yep.
But where's the back? There's the back. It's on the glass on the back.
Wow.
So that you got 4 different doors, your left and your right with each styles. And these are the only 4 brick high doors that have a glass. And people are selling some with other colors, I think.
Right.
And that's what he said, is my door this? And he showed me a picture. And I'm like, no, your door is clearly the 3 stud.
Right. Yeah.
Number 3 brick high one. I'm like, it's like in all of the large vehicle sets. But I've done videos on these 2, and I didn't realize that these are the only sets that have these doors like this. And there are 4 stud high doors. There are. I mean, it's 4 brick.
I want to say that,
but they're not with the glass.
Right.
Isn't there I want to say I had that vintage bulk lot I got, and I pieced together a set that had a blue door like that.
Yes, they have. Yes,
but it's not clear. It's not clear.
Yeah, I think it was half blue and half clear.
Then it was probably a 3x3.
That's what you had.
Yeah. Okay.
I guarantee you that's what you had.
Okay. All right.
And there are. All right, now we're getting all kinds of. See, these doors on the yellow truck, those are 4 bricks high, but they're no glass.
Solid. Right.
Right. Yep.
See that? And then those are 3. The doors with the glass are 3 bricks high.
Right.
And so it was just funny that. So here's somebody. I'll turn around. That's my clay. Anyway, somebody's trying to figure out what something is, and they find the wrong part, but they find a listing on Bricklink that I didn't know about. And so I did message one of the sellers. I'm like, is this actually 4 bricks high? Never got a response.
Because he's going, uh-oh.
Yeah. And as in most cases, it's incorrect. It's more than likely, it's an incorrect list, especially if they're in the United States.
So that's the weird thing, right? Because if you go under 825, which is one of those doors, they list that door as blue, red, and white. Blue, red, white, and yellow.
But there's no sets that it was ever in.
Well, there's even and there's even a picture of one, but it's clearly not 4 high.
Yeah.
It's 3 high. Yeah. So there's a lot of these on Bricklink that are probably incorrectly listed.
Correct. That's right.
And that you had messaged us too, and I did the same thing. I was like, no, I got those.
What?
No,
Well, the thing was, I thought, how did I miss this? And I was like, did I just discover something I didn't know? Or maybe, or I was like, are these Bricklink inventories wrong? Which is, there are a lot that are wrong.
There's a lot, yeah.
But it turns out the inventories are right. Because I own every vehicle that uses these doors that Lego made.
Those two.
Well, when I say, well, I take it back. That style of door, including the three brick high. Yeah. Because I got all of those vehicles.
Yep.
So I've built all of these sets. I know. I was like, you're finding something I didn't know existed, and then okay, it doesn't. Right. It really
doesn't exist. Yeah, it only exists in that white door with the little red cross symbol on it.
Yeah.
So only in one set.
Yeah, and only in a printed piece.
Are they as expensive as the green doors from the BSNF train?
I doubt it. No. Well, here it is. If you want to try to get this set, it's probably harder than the BNSF train, but who wants it?
So technically, is 825 really an item? Because I mean, I guess
not. I think it's incorrect, because this would have like the other numbers to
right. That's 825 P1 or something, right?
Yeah, depending on the if it's left or right, or if the print is on the door or on the glass.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got an 825 P01 and 825 P02. Yeah.
Those P's mean something, people. I don't know if it means print.
Yeah, it meant something at some point.
And that's the Bricklink thing, not a Lego thing, by the way.
It's very much so a Bricklink thing, yes.
Or Puron. Maybe Puron came up with it. I don't know which one came up with it first.
So there's 18 of those.
There are some for sale. What's the highest? What's the lowest price? Like
20 cents.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about the door.
Just the door. Yeah, sorry, just the door. $1.37 for the most expensive one, and that's just what the left door. Yeah, the left door. I don't even know what is 825. So yeah, the base part, the 825 is really
doesn't exist.
It didn't exist blank. Yeah, it is. You did discover something. You discovered that Bricklink is once again wrong.
So while you were on vacation, did you see the inside tour truck?
Oh, the new gift.
Yeah.
Oh, the fire truck.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it does look really cool.
It's another amazing set, and it's like, every year I'm like, I should have gone this year. And it's one of those. It's hard. Like in recent years, it's harder to get the instructions. Like some of the older ones, you could get the instructions or like find a copy, but nobody is posting them anymore. And I don't know if Lego tells them not to post them.
Maybe.
I tried to get the guy that when he lived here in Georgia. I think it's Hey Y'all Bricks. He offered me an opportunity to build one of his. He had the Ferguson tractor, but now he's moved to another state, and he said he hadn't even opened his. And that was so worth so much money. You hate to open it, but that fire truck looked amazing.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I mean, other than it really looking like it
looked like a wooden toy. It looked like a wooden toy.
Yeah, and the little bit I've read on it, it's like going to be really exclusive. I mean, it's not going to be thousands. It looks like it's going to be a short run.
Oh no, always those are limited to however many people go to the inside tour. That's how many they make.
And there's a couple tours a year, right? Yeah, assuming that they both sets of tours got the same. So you're probably less than 200 sets.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing that's tricky. Like, say they have 80 people on the tour. You could get one that's numbered 1 of 80, and then when the next tour comes, they can make 75 of it, and you could have 1 of 75. But it's like, it's the same set. It's because it's usually the ones I've seen, it's always been handwritten on the box, the number.
And is it to get this? Who signs the boxes? Is that just the other tour members, or is it?
It's probably
designers. Hopefully, it's designers.
Yeah, but the other thing that box, the 2 boxes will be different. If there's 2 tours in a year, each box is different because they put everybody that's on the tour
on the picture. Yeah. Those are the things that don't bother me.
No, that's a perfect exclusive.
Yeah, it is.
Do I want that fire engine? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Am I probably going to be able to get it? No. But am I mad about it? Absolutely not.
No.
If I paid $3,000 or something, or whatever it costs to go on this tour, yeah, I wouldn't want it to be easy for other people to get it either.
No. And you are a true Lego fan if you're going on that tour and you're spending that kind of money. So you should get something. You should get something that's.
I think that's a good use of exclusivity. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm okay with trying to find the instructions and rebuild.
Yes, and if I find those instructions, I'll be like SpongeBob and Patrick looking at the map.
Yeah. Oh, so we're about an hour in. Do we want to talk about our survey last month or last week, a couple weeks ago, before we announced the new one?
Sure.
So, okay, our last one was, where do you buy a new set? And 1% of you said you bought it at eBay. You never know what you'll find. And that is a true statement, even when you know what you bought.
A new set on eBay?
Yeah, that's
you're buying something stolen if you're buying. I tell you, the one exception is people that want to buy something before it is actually in stores.
Yep.
But then you're gonna pay too much for it. Yeah.
Well, there's a card game out. Well, it's not a new set, but there's a little game out that was given out to employees in apparently just North America. Something about Play Day or something, and they got them on eBay right now. And if it wasn't for the fact it's $250, I would
my goodness,
probably buy one. But it looks pretty cool. Okay, so the next one was Bricklink. Always looking for retired sets.
Okay, when I saw that question, then my question was, when you say buy a new set, does that mean new to you?
It's new to you.
Okay, because a retired set's not a new set.
No. Well, it could be a new set, unopened field.
Well,
be new. But it's not a new release. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It was a bad question. We should have clarified it a little better.
Yeah.
So 19%, and this is where the next two kind of fit where you're saying, Jabbo. 19% was Walmart or Target, locally convenient, and then the whopping 76% was give me the promos. I want my VIP from Lego.
So if it's a new release or currently available set, yeah, I'm always looking for the gifts with purchase.
Yep.
If it's no gift with purchase, then you're looking at Target or Walmart or sale there.
Right.
But if I'm looking at a retired set,
right,
that I don't have, I'm looking at first Bricklink and then eBay. I like eBay when I can see if they show good pictures of it. And I like Bricklink when they show pictures of what they're selling. And I don't know why sellers, it's like somebody on eBay will take the time to build the set and take pictures of it built. People on Bricklink, here's the general Bricklink picture. Here you go. Yeah. I'm like, why can't you do the same thing? If you want to actually sell it.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
No.
As I say that, I'm probably going to list an item without building it.
Well, but you've listed sets before on Bricklink. Yes.
Used and new, yes.
Yeah. Did you take pictures and post them on Bricklink?
I did when it mattered, yes.
Okay. Well, when it matters, I get it.
Yes.
But it is not easy to do that. It's not. No. I mean, eBay,
it's not no guarantee that people even know how to see the pictures.
Right. And eBay starts with that. You got a picture? Yeah. If you ain't got a picture, you ain't gonna start.
Here's something I think a lot of people don't know about eBay is that according to the rules, if you're selling something that is new and sealed, you can start. The first picture can be the stock picture. If you're selling something that's used, you're not supposed to use the stock picture. But people still do. I don't know how many times I've looked at something and I'm like, oh, this is a good deal. And then I look, and then you look at the picture, then you look at the description, and I'm like, why did you start with a picture of this boxed set? I don't know how many times.
I think when you do a listing, you could put you find one and then there's the thing where it says sell one like this,
and they do that.
And if the one that you're looking at was a stock picture, then you copy the picture.
So you don't think it's malicious that they do this?
No, I think it's probably laziness, or I mean, it could be. It could be like, oh, people are like, oh, I got this set. Let me try to sell it, but my set's only 80% complete, and I'm not going to take pictures or put it together.
Right.
So I have this item from Macari that's not Lego, and the first 2 pictures were pictures of the box, and I had been following it for a while, and then they lowered the price, and then I made them an offer, and then they accepted the offer, and then I got it, and I'm like, when I got the box, I'm like, well, this box isn't the right size. I mean, before I even opened it, I said, I know it doesn't have the box. So the box isn't the right size, because I have that item. Right. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't have it. But then I went back and looked at my listing, and it says boxes for display purposes only or something. Nice. It's like the box not included. And I'm like, why were your first 2 pictures of the box? You shouldn't even had a picture of the box.
No, if you didn't have the box.
None of the pictures should include something that's not included unless it's just stuff that's in the background. Like if I'm taking a picture and I have something on this table and for some reason something back, people should know that what's back here is not. But when I take a picture of something, I try to make that's the only thing you see.
Right.
And I wish other people would do that. It's like the guy that's selling the 9-volt train set. He's got a picture of the whole train set, and all he's selling is the transformer.
Yeah.
Transformer only. I'm like, well, why did you take a picture of the whole train?
Because somebody will click on it and buy it and then be. But,
I diverted us from the poll a little bit. I'm sorry.
Okay, so our new survey. This one's we've talked about this before, right? When is it complete? Box, instructions, and all the parts. Instructions, all the parts, but no need to keep the box. I got the instructions. I have all the pieces somewhere, but they're on a mock. And who cares?
I like those choices.
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
Because it is interesting. Because I'm gotta have the instructions for sure.
Well, see, the thing I think about is like, look in your city. You have a lot of. Let's just look at the modulars.
Yeah.
You've got people in cars and vehicles that go with the modulars, and Dakota plays with them. And if you was to take that modular off of your city and try to piece it back together, you'd be like, you have it somewhere.
Yep.
But. So is it still complete, or would you?
So did you see? Okay, go back to Alex and Jason's video, and Alex had his little utility truck.
Yeah,
right.
I was like, Jason, like, those are the wrong wheels.
At some point, I needed this piece that was more important than this vehicle.
And he's like, I don't know why I took this. I got this piece everywhere. And I got so many things. I mean, that's the perfect example. It's a small set. You think, how could this thing be missing pieces?
It's a perfect example of what I've always said. Lego sets, when they get on a layout or in a city display or anything like that, they melt in. Yeah. You're right. I pull any one of my modulars out right now, and I will struggle to find all the people. The engine shed, right? Dakota loves to play with the engine shed, and I was not paying close attention to it. So I've now had to go back and buy the people, right, to go with it. They're in there,
in the roof,
yeah. And some of these guys, I bought some from Germany.
Oh my goodness, you bought those?
I bought
the yellow things,
yellow hand carts. Yeah.
Oh,
there's some in my store.
Those are pricey, aren't they?
That's what you do.
Yeah, so they're in my store too, pricey.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing to do. Like if you are missing something like that, and you can go buy them and import them, and nobody's selling them over here. Yeah, sell them.
Right.
They're
not at the highest prices. I mean, as for Bricklink's concerned, they're not bad. They're more than what I paid for them for sure.
Right.
But yeah. So
there's a couple of the early modulars when I was rebuilding them. Same thing. I can't find the minifigures because the kids, they played with those. I mean, they added beds and all kinds of. They made them. I mean, even before I was doing YouTube, they were like, they'd be down here making stories out of the houses and the buildings, and so I repurchased some of the minifigures, and so then when I was setting them up here again, now they're in this. The ones I bought are missing. And I'm like, how did these get missing this time? I can't blame them.
Not this time, no.
Yeah.
No.
So I did the flood video. I think that's when some of them got missing.
Oh,
when I did the flood video, and I cleaned everything up. Some of those corpses are.
Well, I got one even worse, is because we used to take most of the stuff that's on my city right now was part of a traveling layout that we took to train shows, and we'd ask our friends, hey, this thing's gonna end at 3. What are you doing at 3? We'll go for dinner, our treat, if you come by and help pick up Lego and put it in a box, right?
Yeah.
And it's Michelle, the ones, Michelle and Mark that went to Brick World with. But yeah, we had a shoebox, and the vehicles went in one shoebox, and the minifigures that were loose just go in another shoebox. And sometimes they stayed in those shoeboxes till it was time for the next train show.
Yeah.
Now they're on the layout,
and so I run into the other dilemma that is oddly, I think we've talked about this before. It's like not a thing now, but I try to keep my sig figs separate and honor my sig figs, but honestly, I got so many. I don't have many as BrickTsar had that he made, but I don't remember who they are. But I try to keep those in a separate place and not place them in the when I had the city, because I figure I forget that it was a sig fig.
Yeah, that's where Alex is doing his minifig mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about Alex a lot.
Who's this guy?
Who is that guy? We'll just talk about Mindy. But Mindy's putting these in her husband's city, and the same thing's going to happen there. Yeah, they're going to disappear. And
well, he actually redid a portion of his city, and he had sig figs because when you send him one, you tell him where you would like it. Well, he redid some of where people told him they wanted it, so he had to relocate them.
Me and Heather ended up back at the train station, so that's all good. I do my sig figs on a board, like either way, one of these kind of boards, and then hopefully, I've either got a business card, or something that says, that's Heather, says what they are. These are leftovers from Brick World. I didn't give out as many of those as I thought I would. But
I should pull out my. I was thinking, pull out my box of sig figs and just do a video like, who is this?
It's you.
If this is you, leave me a comment.
I remember that one girl in Australia got mad at me because she said I took the torso from her sig fig and used it for my wife's sig fig or something. I'm like, no, I didn't. You're still here. That's my wife. I just like, I don't want to play this game. Yeah. That's why I kind of got out of the sig fig thing. It's like, I don't want people to have hurt feelings if I don't prominently feature their sig fig. And
well, now it seems to be, or at least, so we didn't go to Brick World last year, and last year was the first year since the pandemic. And I don't, we've been to Brick Fair, Alabama several times, and I don't remember it being a big thing. It seemed like the smaller groups of people, like the Pink Bucket Nation, there were a lot of sig fig trades there. And the same thing here in Brick World, there was sig figs. I traded sig figs with people that we know and stuff. At any rate, it doesn't seem like it's as big a thing. But now the thing seems to be what they're calling tokens. Now I was able, because I had a bag full of the BrickTrains logo on a 2x2 tile, and if you turn it sideways, it looks like like it's on my shirt. So we use some of those as tokens. And then the other thing is, Sticker Mule's done this, is your sticker, right? So a sticker of your sig fig or something.
That's a more. it's more manageable, I think.
It is.
Because people don't have to worry about having bags and bags of figs, and it's
Well,
not as expensive. And
there you go. Yeah. So mine, I've customized mine. I send them to Eclipse Graphics and have them print them, and that's an expense. Plus, you got to do a minimum. And of course, the more you do, the more they do, the cheaper he'll print them for you. But because you got to buy them, and one of the little things that he told me, he said, you can buy them from him, the torsos, and he'll print them, or you can do like I did, and I can send them to you, and he just charges you for the printing. But when you send them to him, you have to pull the fig's hands out because they don't fit in his jig for the printer. Well, that's a lot of work. I thought, oh yeah, this is cool. All right, next time I may just have him pay him. Because my time is hurt my little thumbs. Those little hands.
At least he didn't make you pull the arms off.
Oof. I've seen his jig. Actually, it's a short on my video, but it's the way the little arms fit down in there. The hands would still stick up, and the print head would hit it. But if you put the hands out, it goes right over the top. But he's got a little carrier, and he puts like, I don't know, it looks like you could put 100 of them in there at a time, and the printer just across there.
Oh, that's neat.
It is cool. Well, a lot of the other places are pad printing now too. That's the new big thing. So, but that's one at a time. You get the little, and I don't think the pad printer cares that the hands are in the way. It just kind of mushes out of the way.
So the only other thing I see on your notes, Joey, is the new Lego Disney Castle. What are the differences? And you have the other one, so are you getting the new one? Jabba, you have that one too, don't you?
I never built it, but I had the FOMO and ended up buying it.
I have that one, right? And it's built, and it's part of Heather's display. There's one up famously on by the Ghostbusters set.
Yeah.
And
I just sent you some to put on the starting the tab, Joey.
Are you okay? I found another one in the utility room. I have 3 of them. 2 of them still sealed.
Of what, the
Disney Castle?
The original one, yeah.
Yeah. And now my question is, I won't buy one and build one because I have one. And I think there's no reason to have two Disney castles. I understand people having like 2 UCS Starfighter X-Wings or whatever.
Well, you should try to sell one of those sealed ones and take that money and buy one of the new ones.
Well, that's what I'm wondering is when is going to be the good time on that? Is this the good time, or is it another 10 years?
I would wait another 10 years.
Yeah.
But
which I can, because obviously I just found one. It wasn't bothering me, right? I mean, when you go and find a $300 or $400 Lego set hiding in a closet full of spiders, it's like, yeah, I want to get that out, baby.
Well, yeah. What's the? That's a question for the viewers. What have you ever found something you didn't remember you had that was worth a lot of money?
Yeah, right.
Especially if it's something big like that. Yeah.
I tell you what, there's stuff that you don't even know you had now that you have, like the Spider-Man bridge. Do you have one of those sealed?
The newer one or the old?
You remember the bridge? It was half a bridge.
Yeah.
You would buy. Well, I have 2, but one of them I bought with no figs. But so that set sold for about $60. The Craven figure was in it. He's like a $60 fig.
Right.
Wow. So if you had if you put stuff like that away, you wouldn't even think that I'm putting it away for this figure, right?
Right.
Yeah, I still. I was cleaning up my train table there. I found a box that has parts from the Joker's Manor.
There's a fig in there.
Yeah. And it's like we never finished building it. Jacob was building it.
Yeah, I remember those days. You would show it as like if it was a good set, Jacob would have finished it. So I don't guess this is worth it.
And I asked him the other day if he wanted to finish building it, and he's like, "No." So
I had the Joker Manor sitting up on there for the longest time, and then I took all that because of the superhero stuff. I just like. The only thing I have left over here that is superhero is the Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man stuff. But I don't know, and I know that figure's in there. I don't know where it's at. It's in a shoebox of regret, Or worse than that, it could be in this drawer full of lost minifigs.
Oh,
It's like in this era now, especially the stuff that's
Yeah.
come out in the last 15 years, you could have this random container where you've shoveled stuff in it and you got multiple figures worth over $100.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I tell you that Harley Quinn from the Lego movie Statue
Yeah,
of Liberty,
yeah.
Apocalypseburg or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised. So that Apocalypseburg is in the high shelf in the back corner in the other room of this basement. I wouldn't be surprised if the cats knocked it off somewhere.
Oh. And yet, there are still people out there that do not, a vast majority of people who do not know that any of those figures are worth anything, and they're going to end up
and they're going to end up in a tote full of Legos at a garage sale.
Yep.
And with marker color on them.
Yeah. How many? I know there was. I know I talked about it a couple weeks ago or shows ago, but there was a Mr. Gold still selling for multi-$1,000 that has obviously been in some sort of bin, chewed upon, parts missing, but yet. And somebody had no clue what that part was, right? And it ended up at a yard sale in a 50-cent bin. So those are the ones you want to find.
Yeah, the guy I follow this guy. He just made 1,000 subscribers. It's kind of neat when you follow somebody who's starting and you're watching them grow. But he bought a tote, and it had the P1 Rex helmet, and I think it was the backpack, or it had two parts from the P1 Rex, and he was just thinking that the whole thing was, but there you go. So that the P1 Rex is the clone that everybody wants, the 100 and two parts and a big tote that he picked up at a garage sale.
Yeah. And some kid loved it until he didn't. Wait, somebody actually playing with Lego? That's not allowed, is it? This is a highly intricate interlocking collectible thing.
And so some of these figures is like, if you handle them a lot, you these days you kind of worry about cracking them.
Yep.
And this is the problem. Like I've been organizing my collection, and I've been getting all my vintage sets grouped by theme. And I did it. I mean, I broke some. I was taking stuff apart. It's like, I know, be careful with the blues and the grays. And I broke a 4x12 gray base plate, but I can replace. I mean, I know I can replace it, but it's still like, don't get in a hurry. Why did I get in a hurry taking this apart? Right. It's like, is Lego disposable? Really? Are we not supposed to be keeping this stuff for 50 and 60 years? Are we supposed to throw it away?
They probably wish you would, right? So you buy more. All right. Well, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, and so now we're down to the. All
right, let's start on the comments. Do we have? Let's see how many. Yeah, we got quite a. This is good. This is good though. I mean, this shows that this is our regulars.
Yep.
So we got a new comment from BrickTsar.
Who's that guy?
He said, my best show listened while driving to work, and my first job podcast was over before I got there. Too short.
I literally drove for over 2 hours.
Oh, man.
And I listened to the entire podcast.
So then you are not in on the little secret. Did you watch it, Earl? Do you ever watch the podcast? I mean, I know
sometimes I do, and sometimes
I did see the beginning. By the way.
Sometimes
How far in did you go?
Far enough to see me dancing.
I'm
like, how do y'all remember where this stuff is?
Oh no, gyms like that, I make sure I have somewhere special.
Wait, you saved it? You've saved it a long time ago?
Yeah, it was a short on my channel for a while, or it still is. I asked you about it. You did a live stream. Okay, you were doing the steps, is what you were doing to get your steps up, and I texted you, pinged you something, and I said, "Hey, you don't mind if I make a short out of that?" And you're like, "I don't care."
Oh,
so I did. You still had it, so guess what? You were You were in Florida, didn't
I
you?
would just say this is not the only video on the internet of me dancing.
So this brings up a question I was going to ask you, and I just forgot.
Oh, we gotta get it.
It wouldn't be.
Yeah,
we didn't forget something.
What was it? What was it? I was fixing. Oh. The someone's calling Joseph Olson and the other one out in the field.
Yeah.
Were those like subscriber things that they did for you?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
You pay a lot of money.
Is that what it was?
You pay a lot of money,
Okay.
and you get a bag of goodies, and they make a 30-second or so song.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to a couple of shows, and I've seen some of these people. So there are a lot of people that did that.
Yeah.
So one of the things you get different clothing, and so I can when I see people that guys, okay, they did it too. Yeah. I don't feel so bad.
You don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
But at least you're getting use out of yours.
Yeah.
I mean yours.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't want you sharing it, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not worried about them.
A couple more times, and I'll have the words memorized to the someone calling.
Yeah. That was okay. That one's supposed to be a ringtone.
Okay.
Is what that is. And the other one was just a little. I like the other one better.
Yeah.
It's more like a song.
All this talk of trains. What is this channel becoming? Thanks, Brian, for filling in. When this was being filmed, we were wasting our evening waiting for and watching Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios. Speaking of waiting, the English language is so confusing. I thought early in the episode Earl was talking about weight, and Brian was talking about weight.
So what? You tell me what you were talking about, Earl.
I don't even remember
he had
what was I talking about?
His package.
Yeah.
And you said, what was the weight? And he said, like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how much did it weigh?
Yes. That's what I thought. That's exactly what I was talking is the weight on. How much did it weigh? And
but you never corrected him. So
I know. So I just let him go. I was like, he's a guest. He's a guest.
Yes, you don't correct the guests.
I know.
Oh, and look, to clarify, the weight was 10 days, arrived today, and the weight was just under 13 ounces.
Covered both his bases.
Battery gears and bricks. He says at battery powered bricks, did waiter weigh your order prior to delivery to your building? Wait a minute. I got to get out of these replies or we'll be here all day. I think I hit show more and all the replies came. Crying Brian, my favorite part of these podcasts is Earl making everybody laugh after saying nothing. This episode was golden. It would have been even better with Jabo. Yeah, because sometimes you guys start talking vintage, like real vintage. And I'm just like, okay, just nodding my head, following along.
That's all right. You guys start talking about basketball or something.
Yeah.
We'll tell you football and
yeah.
Did they win the national championship this year?
Yes, we just won it Monday night.
Wait, was that the one? What was the game somebody lost like 24 to something?
We lost 24 to something on Saturday.
And y'all still won the national championship?
Well, it's the best 2 out of 3.
Oh, that is incredible. I thought, I guess Florida is going to. The College World Series is a great tournament. It's set up. It's 2 4-team round robin double eliminations, and then when the two winners from those 2 brackets, they play a 2 out of 3 series. Okay.
The only problem with it is they don't have multiple days off between getting to the final 2 and then the tournament. So you have 1 day off basically.
So you got it depends on what pitcher you got.
Unless So that's what happened we beat their ace, and then we got skunked by their second pitcher, and then their pitching was up, and we won. We lost 20-something to 4, and then we won 18-4 the next night.
Oh wow! So you asked for this, Joey.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, that's all right.
You went there, Joey. I was just sitting here quiet. Speaking of, and if you guys are at home, start watching college baseball. College baseball is so much better than MLB. Okay, battery powered bricks, and you guys are taking our coach, Jabo.
Really?
Our assistant coach, our pitching coach, is going to be your head coach next year.
Who's head coach?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, I don't watch Georgia baseball.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. You need to start.
Okay. They were good a long time ago.
Battery powered bricks. The first episode, Joey didn't disconnect, and he's not even home.
I didn't disconnect.
Just a couple of days ago, Stacy of Bricks and Giggles uploaded a haul that had, you guessed it, my own train parts. Then her next video was completing them. If there was ever a time for Lego to revisit the series, the time is now. Strike while the iron is hot. Yep. And you even got Alex and Jason talking about it.
Yep.
Here's a question specifically for Joey. What's one locomotive you really want to build but just haven't gotten around to it yet? Now, is this a mock he's talking about?
I would assume, because I pretty much every Lego train I've built, I would like to build a GG1. The electric train. It's kind of it's kind of like a
two noses.
Yeah. I think a GG1 would be cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a iconic locomotive.
So Jason Brick says if Brian comes on much more, you guys might have to add him to the payroll.
he's there. He's getting paid
as much as we do.
Yeah.
He enjoyed the episode, but it's too bad Joey had to record the video after it was past time for lights out.
I get paid even when I wasn't on the show.
Yeah. Jabo gets residuals even if he doesn't attend. Gears and Bricks, I have nothing to say about this to my enemies. If I had any enemy anemas, good show. That's because Brian used your closing. Sin Killer Tachikawa. With the bright red polo, Joey looks more like Beyond the BrickTrains today.
I purposely, that is why my sig figs are now blue, and Heather has a red one and I have a red one. And we do not wear those very often anymore. I try not to ever wear them in any of the videos and stuff, but I was wearing it that day.
Why not?
Because it does look like Beyond the Brick.
That's okay.
Well, I know.
So you Beyond the Brick, you'd be like, no, I'm BrickTrains.
Yeah.
So when I wear my AT&T uniform, I had to switch to a different color because in the early 2000s, I could walk into a Target with a red shirt on, and people would ask me questions. Yep. I'd walk into Walmart with my navy blue shirt on, and I wore khakis, and it's like both cases, and it's like, the people ask me questions.
I don't even have to have. I could just have any polo on and be standing in the aisle. Yeah. You work here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking for? The bathroom? It's right over there in the produce department.
Yeah, I caused Walmart to get a complaint one time, probably. That guy was so rude. He wouldn't even speak to me. I kept calling out to him, sir. He just kept walking away.
Brick Jams. I always watch until the very end. Jabo was on vacation in Orlando at Disney Hollywood Studios. Even watch Fantasmic, one of my favorite shows. So Fantasmic, that's the one where it's we've been to that. When was that? 25 years ago, 20 years ago. Oh. It's probably the same now.
Yeah, it's probably the same. I don't think it's worth 2 hours of your time. Like, if you go to Magic Kingdom and they have that show that they project onto the castle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like crazy about it, but it's like, it doesn't waste your day. And then it's got fireworks, and then you got the Tinkerbell comes flying out on the zip line. That's pretty cool. Yep. But it's like, I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. That Fantasmic, you got to get there like an hour early, and then you sit there, and then you're like, well, why did I just sit here? There's no fireworks.
Yeah, and the thing is the line lines up before that.
Yeah.
And so when the line moves and you go in, you're like, okay, the show's going to start. Nope.
My son, I couldn't ride the rock and roll, the Aerosmith roller coaster. He wanted to go ride it again, and I was like, I can't ride it. So
he was with you.
Yeah. He
Okay.
went with us.
I was worried you went on Tron without him.
No. That's why we went. He wanted to ride Tron, so yeah. I tried to get him to make a video about his Tron thing that he got, and he hadn't done it, but
how was riding the Tron ride?
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Was it?
And so the problem with Disney is that when something's new, it's hard to ride it multiple times.
Sure.
So did I ride it the second time? I know he rode it the second time. I think we rode it twice. Yeah, we rode it twice, and he rode it 3 times. I did it twice. We thought the second time it was going to be dark, but it was still a little daylight by the time we got on it. And then he got to go ride it one more time. And actually, when the fireworks happened, it's like that's the best time to go.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's there then.
Yeah.
So you were saying it's hard to ride?
No, it's hard to. Yeah. It's because you have to sign up for the either have the Lightning Pass or do the virtual queue. Okay. You can't just show up. You can't just go get in line.
Okay.
That's what that's what I mean. When it's a new ride, it's hard to. You've got to make sure, and if you don't do the virtual queue in time, it fills up.
Right.
And then you're done. It's like the whole day's gone by and you didn't get a chance to ride it. And I think watching people though, it's like we were kind of the Disney novices, and everybody else was like Disney expert. They got their bracelets and they're just like they know what they're doing, and we were trying to figure everything out. So I think we were one of the newbies as far as that.
Brick Jam says, "Don't worry, Joey. Nobody ever recognizes me at shows either. I'm in Julian shadows."
Well, that's not a bad shadow to be in.
But... Mayo, welcome back, Mayo. Mayo says the dancing Jabbo is too funny. He even timestamped it for us.
I met Mayo at Brick World.
Did you?
Yes. Yes. Good guy.
Good.
Speaking of Brick World, we do have some questions for you after I'm finished.
After the try, let's get it down to where there's only 5% of the people watching.
Yeah. Matthias, great show as always. I agree with Jabbo though that it was too short. Can we go for 3 hours in the future?
No.
Just kidding. Miss Bricks on Bricks, first time commenting. Sorry, Earl, I watch on my smart TV. Have been watching all the past episodes, and you are definitely my go-to podcast. The amount of knowledge you guys have blows my mind. Jabbo's in Florida, I think. Man, the word was out.
Yeah, it was.
It's hard to keep a secret these days.
I think that Tipper Truck TV guy gave it away.
Yeah. My 283 subscribers on Tipper Truck TV.
Thanks for the first time comment, Mr. Brick.
Yes.
Gears and Bricks. He has a timestamp. Oh snap! Now I got to buy it. You sold me at with the tripod. So
what was that?
What were we talking
about? The gimbal thing I was using.
Oh,
sure, that must be what he was talking about. We'd have to watch the timestamp and see.
Yeah. Kona Sting, civil English here. The reason most homes have basements is because in cold climates you need deeper foundations due to ground heaving.
Heaving. No, he's not ground heaving. Yeah. Yep.
Never heard of that.
No,
if you're going to dig for foundations below the frost line, you might as well dig a bit more and build a livable basement. Older homes used to have crawl spaces for storage due to the same reason, but to save money, they would only dig to the same depth as the foundation.
Yeah, he's talking about when you don't have basements in your area.
Right.
We have basements in our area.
Right.
We don't live in an area that we have to worry about ground heaving that much. We don't get frozen. Yeah, supposedly if the ground freezes enough, your house would actually come out of the ground. So they have to account. But he's a civil engineer, so he knows that they have to account for that. I'm surprised though that people have basements. I mean, I know it's not impossible, but in Florida, have basements in Florida, it would be an expense because you got to deal with the groundwater.
I can't remember. We were somewhere. I forgot where it was because we spent most of the time in Orlando. But we were going down some road, and I'm like, "Look, a real hill." It's not a man-made hill. It's actually a real hill.
Brick Jams. I haven't picked up the latest train myself either. They really just haven't done anything for me. This is the first time I haven't bought trains since I started back collecting in 07. I still haven't bought the green one. I did buy the cargo train, but I haven't
got
bought
the cargo
green
train
one yet.
Yeah, I don't have the green one. I'm gonna fart around and miss it.
No, you're not, because eventually I'm gonna get you 2 of them for
Well,
that train.
there was a deal on it recently somewhere.
Was there?
Yeah, I forgot where it was. Somebody, but I already got 2 of them, so I don't want to get
Brick Jams. Just FYI, we do have basements in Florida. I've been in several here in the northwest panhandle of Florida. I've actually built 2 houses with basements. One of them was right on the beach, another about a half mile from the beach. It's all about waterproofing and water control.
Yeah.
Dunkster says Ninjago ships have had cloth sails. The Lord of the Rings ships has also had cloth sails. I think that's when we were talking about ships or something.
Yeah. I think Brian had something.
Yeah. He also says they could re-release modulars with no interiors, and then have optional sets that cover the interior if people want them. Possibly not practical, but would cut the cost of modulars. So that's when we were talking about Brick Sciences, his 30-day building a city in 30 days. And let me tell you, he's almost to the end, and this thing is like, it's really, really nice looking, the buildings he's building.
Where's he going to flood this thing? Well, by the time everybody sees this, we'll already know the answer to that question. See, there's your answer. Where did he flood it at? Because he ain't flooding it in that room.
No. Unless
where's he going to take it?
Well, it is modular style build.
Yeah, but he's still got to move it.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, and he's
Have
already
you seen that yet, Jumbo? Brick Science he built the city in 30 days. So every day he has a short building another building.
He's like on day 28 or 29 now.
Was it? So what we were talking about was the modulars, or mocks. What the point? Is it pointless to build the interior?
Right, because you can't see them.
Because you can't see it, you never get in there. It's all about the facades of the buildings.
It's almost the same like putting an interior in some of the trains.
It is. Yeah.
It's food for thought. I think okay. So there's not a wrong answer because people should do what they want to do.
Right.
As far as but I do much better. Like if I'm building a module, I do enjoy the interior builds that I have, even if I'm not going to see it that much anymore.
I think I think that's right. Yeah. From a Lego standpoint, it is all about the build, right? Yeah. And well, you can say what you want, but the interior is more parts, but it's also more things to look at, more things to build. And I agree. I think it's a better, enjoyable build if it's got an interior.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be on the camp of people that don't like the cafe corner. Like they think it's a bad set because it doesn't have an interior.
Right. Yeah. No. You could definitely put your own interior in there. But those were back then. Those were new. That was an experimental thing. Jamie had no idea whether or not it was going to do well. He probably had a budget. He had an area he had to work in.
But Jamie coming from the community originally, he was a guy that went to shows before he became a Lego employee. But
you need to reach out to him and try to get him on as a guest.
If he can get on a podcast with a guy who has no following, I'm sure we could.
We'd have to be a little more flexible on our time, though, I would imagine, since he's going to be in Europe.
Well, who's got the bigger following? No, but the on the box of the cafe corner, it had what people like when some of these people that got into modulars later. I don't think they saw the box for the cafe corner. But I think he knew what people were going to do, like make them bigger.
Yes.
It had all you could buy 6 of them and you could build this. You can buy 9 of them and do this. I mean, they were expecting people to buy multiple.
Yeah, I think it was the Grand Emporium, the first one. Which was the third one?
So you got the Market Street was the factory set. That was technically the second or third one. It was Green Grocer was the second one.
Okay, so what was the fourth?
So the third or the fourth?
Was it the Grand Emporium or the cinema?
No,
What?
Was there one before that?
Oh yeah, I should know this. That was 15 years ago. How am I supposed to remember this?
I have all.
It's
I have
Fire Brigade.
Fire Brigade is
Fire Brigade.
Yeah.
So I have all of them, but I don't have Market Street. I don't have the
Green Grocer.
the Green Grocer, and I don't have the Cafe Corner. I have all of them from that. And I remember on the boxes for the Cinema and the Grand Emporium, those boxes shows the, like build it, like
make it bigger.
1+1 and keep stacking them up.
Okay, good. So they were still doing it then.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at my boxes in a while. But I just remember when they first came out. Okay, so I have that perspective of things like before they were for sale. And so I do remember that the advertising, and I'm thinking that's a neat idea. But I only bought one of them.
Well, when I got it, I was like, man, that is really, really a sweet idea. But who's going to spend $900 to get 4 of them? Right. Well, they weren't that expensive at the time. You would $500 or $600.
I mean, I bought the Green Grocer for $114 or something. It's
I mean, that's back when $150 for a set was like, really?
Yeah. But Jamie's even said, and we're talking about Jamie, Brickmaster Fox Jamie, who was the designer lead now for the whole modular setup. But anyway, he even said that when those went on sale, I think it was the Cafe Corner, and it was on that podcast, I believe, that you're talking about, that he said this, they did not understand why so many of them were being sold to individuals. Individuals would buy 2, 3, and 4 copies of it, and they said they just could not understand. He's like, oh, it was on the box. Which but as much as it was, the effort was put in to do that, and that was a very good plan. It still caught Lego off guard that people would actually do that.
Yeah.
But so,
and it's like, so those same principles. I mean, I think it's clear that the modular theme is a good theme, and you know what I think. You know how I think they could ruin it. If they started making 4 a year or 2 they would ruin it.
I mean, I think they should, just like they do 1 modular a year, they should do 1 train a year.
Yes.
Put effort into making 1 train versus, let's just throw 2 of them against the wall every 2 to 3 years.
It's like every 4 years.
Yeah, and I think the thing is it's like you got to have a city police station. You got to have a city something. There's always, and I think it's the same thing with trains. There's at least somebody at Lego is still involved enough to say, every 4 years we need to just refresh the train. And that may be as good as we get. I hope that we keep seeing these new, like the crocodile. I know, the Harry Potter was, mixed emotions on the Harry Potter, but at least it was a train. I didn't get it, but I would like to see some of these one hitters like that. Even if they're, several years apart, it's still nice to have a nice looking.
Well, train. Going back to Jamie, he designed the Horizon Express.
Yep.
Which is everybody's in the Emerald. Didn't he do the Emerald?
Not the Horizon. No, you know what? I said Horizon Express. I meant the Emerald Knight.
Yeah.
Either way, those are both great. Either way. And the thing was, when the Emerald Knight was in stores, you know what I was thinking?
Yeah, well, why
I need more cars. I need more cars.
Uh-huh.
Like, why are there not extra like they did with the Santa Fe? They have one pack that you could make 2 different models out of it.
Yeah. But I think Lego lost its there was somebody that was management level. Who?
Jake McKee.
Was that it? Okay.
So that the getting started with 9-volt trains, there were people that were more into trains at that time.
Right.
Those people left or whatever.
Lego lost people at the company that was into trains as much. So now it's just, I guess we should be lucky that we get what we get. But I'm still going to complain. I want more trains. So
yeah. But I don't want a fire hose of trains. That's true.
No, I don't. Yeah. It's like this podcast. We see it all the time. People will say it in the comments, or I'll get, why don't you do it every week? Why don't you do it long? Right? Well, first off, we're old and we have jobs, but it can, the more you don't want more sometimes of a good thing. Saying this is necessarily good.
I think if we did this every week,
we'd get
even if we said, hey, we're only going to do an hour,
right?
It would be hard.
We would get burnout.
Yeah,
we would get burnout. I mean, at this point, we communicate through the couple weeks, but yeah, we don't sit down.
Right now, plus we look forward to it every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that's why, for the 10% of the people that are still watching, that's why it's the time frame that it is.
SG Brick, maybe that's Sega Brick, about the mini Bluetooth speaker in the train. I think the Lego app already connects via Bluetooth to the train, and I don't think the phone can connect to 2 Bluetooth devices. Otherwise, the app should be able to connect the 2 trains.
Yeah, I think it's specific to your phone.
Yeah, and I guess if you're using the Lego app as the controller then you won't be able to use the Bluetooth speaker. I guess that's what he's saying.
It's like if you were trying to use two sets of Bluetooth headphones, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And speaking of an app for Lego, Javo found the first app for Lego, The Life with George.
Well, I don't know if that was the first app, but I was going through, when I go through my boxes, I said that, and it's got 2 apps.
Two apps.
That was the selling point. 2 apps. It's twice as bad as all the other apps.
Lego Builder says too short, make them 3 hours. LOL. Or sometimes we don't even realize we're at 2 hours.
Right. Which is where we're getting close to.
Yeah. Dunkster Brick says 46% other was I don't collect these, but.
Yeah.
That was on the survey. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a survey. I'll collect these, but.
So Joey, let's talk about. Explain to us how this auction worked. And are you going to do a haul and show us what you got?
I got very concerned.
Yeah.
Got concerned?
Because when I saw that you bought it, or Heather bought it, I was like...
Yeah, Heather bought it.
And I was like... But then when I heard... Once it got into like 4 digits...
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I got a little...
It's for kids, right? It's for kids, right?
It is for kids, right? That's the theory, right? So I told her... It's the white box, so it's the second release Metroliner sealed copy, and you can buy them readily, easily for about $1,000 on
$69.99 Tuesday morning.
Huh?
They were $69.99 at Tuesday morning.
On on the sticker on the back of the one that I got. It shows whatever the original price was, then it went to $69.99, and it was on sale. There's yet another one for like half of that, so like for $30. Yeah, mine's crazy. As far as there being a haul, I didn't.
Yours?
Heather
bought it.
Okay, Heather. We'll go with Heather. Yeah. So the thing is that other than the fact that she jumped the price at the end because she got tired, I mean, somebody else was bidding against her. So
yeah,
I don't know, it is what it is. She went a little.
I had the feeling at one point, it's kind of hard to hear on the audio, but it's like
it is. It's terrible.
800. Do I hear 900? 2,000.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it was close. It was close.
Are you gonna send it off to get it graded? Not to get it graded on purpose, but just so you can have an acrylic case for it to keep it in.
No, that'd be another because
you still need a case for your other one.
I do. Yeah, so I'm bad about Heather did it. I blame Heather. She did. She likes doing this. It's her thing.
It is her fault. It is 100% her fault. She's the one who bought you that first Star Wars set.
It is. It absolutely is her fault. And that's the thing. I know it because I was there and I know what but at one point he's looking at her and you can't even see him on camera. And we got to say, it's oh, whose video is that?
Fick and Brick.
Fick and Brick's video. Yeah, he did a live stream of it, and I don't even know if he knew it was us, you know, that was doing it, because we had talked to Fick and Brick a couple times, Jim, and his wife. But at one point, the auctioneer is like, "No, don't look at him. He's out," because he's shaking his head the wrong way. Because when it got to about $800, I kept telling her, "No, stop, no." And then somebody else would bid, and that, I don't know. It's probably a good thing she doesn't gamble. Is all I can say.
The rush of the.
It is. It's an adrenaline thing, and you get worked up. And now that auction, again, it's a charity auction, so nothing goes for what it's worth.
Right. It's going to go for more than what it's worth, right?
There was a plastic. Oh my gosh! There was a Lego duck. It was just a little red build from the stores. You know, they do those monthly builds.
Yeah.
You can easily buy one on Bricklink for $20, no problem. You know, with a little Xerox copy of the instructions and stuff. They had two of them there in the silent auction, and I bid $20 on them. And I thought, you know, it is what it is. They went for $40, and that was a silent auction.
So tell us the best thing that was available at the silent auction, the best thing available at the auction.
The best thing at the auction, there were several older sealed sets, some modular sets, some instructions, just some instructions for like the cafe corner and stuff went for hundreds of dollars. I didn't understand. They were still in their bags, like they came out of the box, but none of the set was there. But the instructions still went for $100 more. I guess the big thing.
I can't say I haven't paid more than $100.
I guess the big thing. The little gifts, the employee gifts. There were a couple of those. There was one that I had never seen. It had a duck in it, a duck that I hadn't seen. It was still that same style duck, and glasses. It had like wine glasses in it and several other things. Those were pretty cool. That fetched pretty good. I didn't tell Heather I was interested in that because, good Lord, of course I wouldn't have got the Metroliner. She wouldn't have done multiple things. But the Kale's train,
that
was for almost $6,000.
That was like a record.
Was that Kale's train or was that Jabo's train?
No. So I think so. I think somebody said something that's closer to him, because I had somebody just on the kind of stuff I just would say in passing on videos. Somebody was messaging me, and they were concerned, and I was just like, I spelled it out. This is what's been going on. And then like the next day I get this long email from Kel about it, which that's all I wanted is to tell me, don't ignore me. Cause I felt like I've been ignored for 2 years. I send messages on the website and directly to him, and I get no response. And then he sent me an email. It was to me. So I was glad. So I haven't talked about it. This is the first time I think I've talked about it.
Yeah. Well, you told us he sent you an email, but I just wonder how many people are like you.
I don't know how many people signed. I don't know how. I would like to know that. And is it 5 people, 10 people?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it was. I mean,
because it's cost prohibitive. Like, I know it's not going to be 1,000 people, but I don't know. But it could be. I mean, it could be 40 or 50 people. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it was that many people, he would probably be at this point be in some sort of legal trouble. If it was that many.
I figure that's why it's just a few, probably a handful,
right?
Like 10 or less.
I would agree with that. That it's probably a very small amount.
Yeah.
Is he still coming out with new models?
No. That's the one thing he said, and he hasn't. He is fulfilled. If people place an order for what's on there, he's been fulfilling those, but he hasn't added anything new in a long time.
So is BMR then no longer?
No, so he in his email he said he got a job as a graphic. I think it's a graphic designer for. I never know how to say it. You might know how to say it. Rapido Trains.
Oh, for Rapido Trains, yeah.
Yes,
it's
Rapido.
He's working
for them now.
Really?
It's like a dream job for him, and I totally get it, man. Because you like trains and you're working for a model train company. I mean, that's great. but he hasn't had time to invest in all this. But it's like, I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
Bricklink store. It's like, so Geology Joe placed an order today. I had picked it and packed it and printed the shipping label. I mean, probably within minutes of him placing the order. And he sent me a message. That was fast. It's like I can't stand outstanding orders. I want them processed and out.
So you guys don't invoice. I still invoice because
Right.
one of these days you two are going to teach me how to do this instant checkout.
Yeah, you just got to set up. You got to set it up where you don't rip them off and you don't undercharge.
Yeah, one of these days we're going to like do this, but not be recording. And but anyway, so I got an order that I invoiced the guy, and and then I got another order, and when that guy paid, I invoiced him again, and then I got another order, and when that guy paid, I invoiced. So finally, after about 6 days, he pays, and I still felt bad that I'm like, I still felt bad. I'm like, I got to pull it, get it in the mailbox tomorrow morning because,
even though he took a long time to pay.
Yeah, it's like on the one hand, I said, oh, well, I'll get to it when I get back this weekend. I'll do it and put it in the mail Monday. But I was like, no, I just don't. I don't feel that's right. I still had to get it in the mailbox this morning before I look.
Well, I did this same thing. I was on evenings. Was on evenings. I just finished evenings. And I seen the email where I had gotten an order. I saw it. I thought, okay, I need it. But I had been working 12s and I was tired and we had a lot of crap going on at work. And I didn't come home and I didn't pick it, which would have been at midnight. So 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't do it. I went to bed. Got up. Today was off day. Dakota was here. We played we played on the layout. We swam in the pool. Come back down. I checked my email and I went,
forgot about it.
That hurt. Yeah. So it didn't go out, and it won't go out till tomorrow morning. And I feel bad about it. I was like, but I don't guarantee.
It's still only 2 days.
Right.
There's no guarantee.
It's really only 1 day. Because I don't think there should be ever an expectation that the order will go out the same day that it's placed.
No, but
I ship most orders. If they come in before 2 o'clock, they're usually going out the same day, unless they're a big order that we don't have enough time to pick.
So I finally have something positive to say about ShipStation.
Oh,
positive. Here we go. So I put that package together for you, Joey.
Okay.
You saw it was a big box.
Yes.
Build the box.
Yes, you did.
It was very light.
Yes.
Do you know on ShipStation for priority shipping would have been like $30-something.
Did you do UPS?
The next option was UPS,
yes.
$18. I was like, well, look at here. ShipStation just saved me some money.
I'd never been using UPS, but they've made it so much easier now that, if you use ShipStation, you can print the label and just take it to a place that takes UPS.
Drop it, you put it on their counter, they scan it, and you're out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be my grocery store.
Now, this the one grocery store in town.
Red light. Between the red lights,
So, that makes me rethink like selling bigger items. Like that's one of the reasons I don't like selling sets is dealing with the boxes, and it's going to cost $45 to ship. And they're like, whoa, why does it cost so much? And I'm like, well, that's what the post office charges.
Yeah, which was
large items is better for UPS. Yeah,
but my daughter. I put the box that you saw that I made the box out of.
Yeah.
So that box, that same size box, without making a double box, I sent her something, and it was also in Indianapolis,
right?
in Indiana, and it was a lot heavier, but the box wasn't as big, and it would have only been like $19 priority. But since I was going to UPS, I just paid the extra 30 cents and dropped them both off at the UPS store.
Yeah.
Which that's how strange it is. It weighed more, but the box was smaller.
But if you took that same box and went to the UPS store and bought a label from them, then it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. So
I've never walked into a UPS store.
Never buy directly from a UPS store.
So thumbs up to ShipStation. You've done something right.
Yeah. I guess. Sorry. I guess I'll have to watch the UPS. Yeah. Well, but now I do check out. So I have a problem. I got a problem. I do have a problem in my store that I need to figure out. If it goes over a pound, right, over the 16 ounces, my store is set up to just kick it into priority mail, which is easy for me because I got all the priority boxes, and depending on it, and it's never really not been a problem. But there is a category from whatever 1 pound to something, which is postal,
1 to 4 pounds,
something like that. Yeah, and the post office has it's a package delivery service type thing, and I don't have that section in there, so I need to either add that or something.
It's the parcel service, which they I forget what they used to call it. It's got a different name now, but it's the non-priority mail stuff. It's cheaper, especially if it's going across the country. Like if you got something that's like several pounds, it'll be cheaper to send it that parcel service than priority mail or UPS.
Right.
But most of the stuff, when you consider that you're getting free boxes from it's like the flat rate. Like, especially if somebody buys a lot of if you get one of those big orders, if it can fit in one of the flat rate boxes, that's going to be cheaper than any of those things by weight.
By weight, yeah.
But if it's like 1 to 2 pounds and it's going to Chicago from you or something that's not too far away, it's even priority mail. You wouldn't want to send it flat rate because it'd still be less than $10.
Yeah.
But do half of your orders go to California?
I ship a lot to California.
Yeah, I think about
Geology Joe's in California. So I ship a lot out there.
I can't say if it was half, but I mean I ship stuff to California.
So guys, if you're still with us, your homework assignment is to tell us what color shirt Jabo dances in.
Oh wow,
that's a good question.
That is a good question because I'll have to go look.
You know what though? You've set yourself up because, like I said, there's not just one video of me dancing on the internet.
The other video, if it's the one I'm thinking of, that video is on one of your smaller channels though.
And like I say, there's not just one of those.
Oh, so it's more than two, huh?
That's why it's a
there's not two, and there's not three.
I remember the wedding one.
That's what I was.
I remember the wedding one.
There's the wedding one, the cruise ship.
Oh,
yeah, and then the live stream.
Yeah,
and there's some others.
Okay, the one that he was dancing on in the last AFoOL podcast.
There you go.
How about that? We'll narrow it down.
We'll take that answer.
Yeah.
For bonus points, give us another video and another color.
Name the video. Yeah, so we'll know.
Then we'll go back and watch it also.
Well, we went over 2 hours.
We did. Yeah. You want to get us out of here?
Yeah, let's get out of here. So, wow, it's a really good episode. If you want to participate in the poll, please do so we can talk about that next week. And hey, support us. We appreciate you subscribing to BrickTrains. That's where we do these things every couple of weeks. Subscribe to Mardigrasman23. I'm BrickTsar. I'm always not here every other week. But if you like the show, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I'm going to dance at your wedding.